before we do any event, because I run with like 25 people all the time and they're all scattered at different tables here right now. So thank you so much for trusting me. I didn't really prepare a speech, but I'll tell you like a little bit of my journey through Harlem. My mom moved to Harlem from Atlantic City in 1963. And I always wondered, I was like, what if I grew up in Atlantic City? And I was like, thank God I didn't grow up in Atlantic City. No disrespect to Atlantic City and none of that shit, but I always say, thank God I didn't grow up in Atlantic City. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to anybody, my family and all that from Atlantic City and all that, you know what I'm saying? I'm just happy I didn't grow up there. And, you know, I'm 47 years old, so growing up in the late 70s, early 80s in Harlem, it was violence-ridden, drug-infested, and I lived smack dead in the middle of it. But my mom always wanted better for me, you know, so at 3 years old, I took tap dance, and 5 years old, I was doing gymnastics, and 6 years old, she took me to, a lot of people know the movie Little Shop of Horrors, but she actually took me to behind the scenes of the play of Little Shop of Horrors, so not only if I wanted to be in a play, I would know how to produce a play at 6 years old. Also at 7 years old, my uncle, who's a world champion boxing trainer, he took me to the gym to learn how to box. At 8 years old, I didn't realize, I didn't want to get punched in my face for a living, so I X'd that off my life moving forward. I appreciate you, Uncle Bill, but that really wasn't the choice for me. What I really wanted to do, and I love, was basketball. So if you lived in Harlem, it's a basketball court every 5 blocks that you walk to. I was fortunate enough to live across the street from a basketball park, and I learned how to play basketball. I became really good. I had a guy named Ali Moe, who was like a super duper street legend growing up. He taught me how to actually play basketball. Like he was good at 9 years old, so when I got to the park at 9 years old, I didn't know the rules, I didn't know traveling, I didn't know double dribbling. He would get so mad at me, like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? Like, yo, why are you traveling, dribbling, and he really taught me that. And then I learned how to play organized basketball in a place called Gaucho's Gym. Right. So by the time I was 13 years old, I was the top 50 13-year-old basketball players in the United States. So I always got to travel and go different places and see better things and want more for myself. But as I was getting older, this thing called hip hop was getting older. And whether it was breakdance or whether it was graffiti or rapping, I was like, I'm really good at putting words together, but it was a hobby because at 13, 14 years old, it was so far-fetched to get a record deal. It wasn't realistic. Everybody who was really good didn't have the best record deals in the world. But I was still getting recruited by the top high schools to come play basketball there. So I ended up going to play at Manhattan Center, where I ran into this guy named Mason Bethel. And his name is Mace from Bad Boy Records, y'all probably know him as. And he was really good at basketball, but he liked to rap as well, so we used to always rap. And it would be a hobby, but it wasn't realistic. We wanted to go to the NBA. And yeah, we did, And we ended up graduating, well, not really graduating, we ended up finishing school. We ended up going to college. I didn't graduate, but I still went to college. Don't ask me how I pulled that off. But when we got back home from school, he ended up getting kicked out of college, and then I ended up getting kicked out of college, and we was trying to figure it out. And there's another guy from my neighborhood named Big L. And Big L, right across the street from me, he ended up being the first one from my neighborhood getting a record deal. And we was like, damn, if Big Al could get a record deal, we could get a record deal, because we was like, that was my month. We didn't Big Al the Yo, but it's like, yo, that's my month from the block. So when he got a record deal, we was like, you really need to be more serious about this. And Mason ended up getting a record deal, and after he got his record deal, right out the gate, he sold 3 million records, and I was with him the whole time. And he ended up introducing me to one of his label mates, which was Biggie Smalls. Yeah, Biggie. So then, Biggie Smalls ended up giving me my first record deal. And that's how I got my first record deal. After Biggie Smalls passed, his partner, Les Rivera, Put my first album out, it went gold. I got off that record label, went to Epic Records, my second album went gold. But I still wasn't making any money. I was just happy to have a record deal. And I was like, how does this record shit work? Like, I don't have any money, but I have 2 gold albums. And I had just had a son at that time. It was the year 2000. I was like, y'all really have to do something to figure out how to make some money with this music thing. And there was a guy that I used to hustle for that turned his life around, became a music mogul, and was selling millions of records with his artists. But we had fell out over some street shit a long time ago, so I was like, okay, I gotta really humble myself and go back to him and say, I need your help. And that guy's name was David Dash. So I went to David and I said, look, I got 2 gold albums, I don't have any money. You obviously know how to do things the right way. I did all this stuff for you as a teenager, because you showed me how to get money the right way. And he said, he didn't even talk right, he said, absolutely. Gave me a record deal. First of all, got me out of the bad record deal that I was in. Got me on the Rockefeller records, and then I sold millions of records after that. I stayed now 15 million records sold, executive produced 4 different movies, and grossed over $10 million in movie sales. So, I'll be here forever telling y'all about my journey through Harlem, but I just want to tell y'all, everywhere I go, I take Harlem with me. My first tattoo on my arm was Harlem World, and I represent Harlem everywhere I go. Next year about this time, hopefully my documentary will be out, and y'all can see much more. But I just want to tell everybody I take Harlem with me. That shit means a lot to me, and I appreciate all you guys, and I really want to thank you for this moment. Thank you guys, and thanks to my son, my family, everybody's here, my man Shit, there's too many people to name. My uncles, I appreciate y'all, Mr. God, Beezer, I appreciate y'all, Sin City. I just want to say thank you guys so much. Like I said, I'll be here forever. But I love Harlem, and I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.